just cleaning some things up. I was on live on YouTube not too long ago, like a few hours ago, and that was kind of fun. I've never done it before, but I was talking to a few of you guys, so yeah, let me know in the comments if you would like me to do more of those. But I had fun. We were chit-chatting and stuff, but yeah, I'm just going to finish up here. So I am just doing final preparations for my candles. I'm also making some bookmarks right now, some magnetic bookmarks, because I haven't had bookmarks at Popup in a very, very long time. So I just wanted to make those. I think I'm going to make like 9, maybe. I think I might have enough space. If I'm thinking about my stand for them properly, I think there's 3 tiers. And I believe that 3 magnetic bookmarks will fit on each tier, if I'm not mistaken. So I think 9 should be okay. Right now I'm on number 7, so I just have to make 2 more designs, and I think that'll be fine. I'm not gonna go crazy because I don't know if the crowd at this particular market is really into those magnetic bookmarks, you know what I mean? So I don't want to go crazy, but I know at the Troy Farmers Market people do like the magnetic bookmarks, so I think for that one I'm going to make even more. Maybe have like more selections or something like that. So if I don't sell anything at this market, at least I'll have plenty, or I'm ahead for my next market. So I actually have 3 markets in the month of May. So I have one this weekend. Today is May 2nd, Friday, May 2nd. I took off of work so that way I could have time to prep. Also, the event I'm going to is at Greylock Works. So if you guys saw my other market video about this place, I did it back in the fall for the first time and I really liked it. So they had said that there is a spring market, like spring version of it. So I applied and obviously I got in. This is the one that's in North Adams, Massachusetts. So it's about an hour drive from here, and they have us set up on Friday. So I have to take off of work in order to do that, because there's no way. You can also set up the day of, I think, but I wasn't going to do that because there's an hour drive. I don't trust myself to get ready on time, to give myself enough time to get ready and then also drive an hour and then also set up. And there's also something nice about just setting up the day before. That way you don't have to deal with anything the day of. You're not like all sweaty from getting everything together, hauling everything in. So I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think if it wasn't an hour away, I would feel better about it, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just cleaning off the vessels. That way I can start putting on the labels that I have right now already printed. I had tested out making new fragrances, so that's gonna be interesting. I'm going to a market with fragrances that I haven't tested out in the open yet, you know, so it's gonna be quite interesting to see what people think, and hopefully people like them, because that will suck. I also have to hurry up and get home from over there because, one, I need to get my nails done because look at them. This one broke. So it's just like a bunch of long nails and then that one short one. So I don't want to go to the market with jacked up nails, you know what I mean? Like, presentation of oneself is also very important. You have to put your best foot forward. So I want to get back early enough that I can do that. And then I also have to head home to finish up sewing. I have a lot of things that I would like to sew. I'm also hoping that this unit that I bought will get here in time. So I bought this like metal like shelving rack type of thing. I'll put a picture in somewhere. But I saw this on Amazon. I was like, oh my God, wouldn't this be so cool if I get this for my book sleeves, and then people can like sort through it or like find the book sleeve they want, or at least look like they're looking for like records or books or something. I thought that would be really cute. I've been really contemplating for a long time, like what how should I display my book sleeves? And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that would be pretty dope. I haven't seen that yet, and I think it'd be pretty cool. So fingers crossed it comes today. It's supposed to come today. And if that's the case, then I'll be able to bring it tomorrow and set it up tomorrow, which I think should be fine because I plan on getting there tomorrow, like 2 hours prior to it opening. It opens at 10 and is until 4. So I'll have plenty of time to set everything up. I'm just going to start adding the labels to the candles that I have, and then move on from there. I actually need to put on some more warning labels. I just printed some with my moon bin, and there's a few stragglers here that don't have warning labels. So I make my own custom warning labels with the stickers that they give from Moonbin, or that they gave me from Moonbin. They're like this pastel color. They look like this, but I just made them custom because usually warning labels only refer to like cotton wicks, and I have wooden wicks, so I made the warning a little bit more custom than, you know, we're used to. And then I also added my brand name, or like my logo and stuff like that. So I think it looks really good. It like changes it a bit, you know what I mean? It just makes it feel complete. I mean, one day I probably will get like different sticker paper for it, but I think these work for now and they look good, so I am content with it. But anyways, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then I'm going to see what labels I need to create. I have my file for my labels in Adobe Illustrator, so I need to go in there and just make more. And then I also need to figure out what colors I want to use, because each of my fragrances have a certain color that go along with it. So like the cedarwood and tonka has like a brown color to it. I also think about the fact that everything's pastel, so like, yes, I do want brown for my cedarwood and tonka, but I make sure that it's in a like pastel tone. So everything is pastel. Like, it has like a very pastel look to it. It's just, you know, the color will vary. And that's just to have continuity throughout everything. Because that's just my vibe. I like pastel. Also, I'm Puerto Rican, and as like a nod to like San Juan or like to Puerto Rico, there's a lot of like pastel colored buildings and things like that. So it was just a nod to it, like an indirect nod in a way. So I don't know, I like it. I think, ooh, it smells so good. I like them. I think they look really cute, and then when they're like all merchandise on the table, it just looks really pretty. So I do plan on redesigning my labels at some point. Not too drastically, because I do like the font that's on here. The font name is Liber, and I usually have like those stars on there to like, I don't know, add something fun to it. But I just want to update them just a little bit, because if you don't know, my whole like branding is very much like mid-century modern, but I want it to lean more towards like Bauhaus kind of, except Bauhaus uses a lot of primary colors, and I hate primary colors. So I guess I don't like Bauhaus. No, I like Bauhaus, but yeah, I don't really like the use of primary colors too much. So I just want to do Bauhaus, but in a pastel way, like pastel colors. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just like the aesthetic, so I'm just trying to make it work for how I want it to look, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm trying to lead into that a little bit more with certain things. So I've been doing like a slow roll of like a rebrand. I've gotten a new magnetic bookmark, backings, business cards, thank you cards, and just like a bunch of things, honestly. I also got hang tags too, but when I got my wholesale order for the scrunchies, I essentially used all of them to add some branding to the scrunchies. And you might be wondering, well, Ashley, why didn't you just add like silk logos that you could have sewn in? Because sewing in silk logos for 30 plus scrunchies is insane. I was like, there's no way I'm doing this. I'm just gonna be honest with myself. I'm not gonna do that. Also, just thinking about like how I wear scrunchies, right? I don't really like tags being on the scrunchie. Like, I really don't want to see, like, I understand branding and all that stuff, but personally, I wouldn't want someone else's brand name on the tag. I don't like tags hanging anyway, so I just made it about me, basically. And I was like, I'm not gonna put these on here. I don't even like wearing scrunchies like that, so what's the point of spending the extra money on that tag if I wouldn't even buy it? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't buy it. So anyways, all that being said, so yeah, all that being said, I had hang tags as well. I don't have any more. I would like to get some more because I want to make bags. So I've been testing out a bunch of different like patterns and stuff that I like for like tote bags, but also like other types of bags, like very like arm bags, like smaller, like really cute crossbody bags and things like that. Okay, so for the labels I need to make more lavender and aloe. I need to make pineapple sage. I have a new fragrance called guava, strawberry, and frankincense. It's really good. It's very strawberry, which is interesting. I feel like the frankincense actually brought out more of like a strawberry fragrance to it. Anyways, I need to make pineapple labels, guava, strawberry, and frankincense, lavender and aloe, and then peppermint, coconut, and santal. Yeah, those are the labels I need to create, so I'm gonna go do that. Let's talk about the event that just happened. Today is May 5th, and the event was May 3rd. It was from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It was in North Adams, Massachusetts, at a place called Greylock Works. Basically, a warehouse that they renovated and made into a, like, I don't know, it's like multiple spaces. It's like a co-working space. They also have like restaurant there. They have a bunch of like small shops there, and then they have an open space that they use to host like weddings and different kinds of events. But then also they have market, so they have a spring market and they have a fall market. I did the fall market for the first time last year and have a video on that. I'll link it somewhere, but I did the fall market for the first time ever, and then this market on Saturday was the first spring market that I ever did with them. So this is to kind of recap that. So first of all, I have my notes here to be as efficient as possible. So if I look off screen, just know I'm looking at my notes. I just want to make sure I had all the details for you guys. So anyways, also I have a little mic. She's so cute. It's not one of those really expensive ones because I'm not quite there yet. I haven't decided on which one I want, and also they're expensive. But anyways, so the place is an hour away from me. Also raining. I live in Albany, okay, and that's about an hour and maybe like 10 minutes away from this space. So I had to go there on a Friday. I had to take off on my 9 to 5 to set up on Friday. For the fall market, I did do this, and a lot of people had set up on that Friday. For this one, it was kind of empty. There was only like a few other vendors who were setting up, and everyone else set up the day of, which made me feel like maybe I wasted my time and also gas money on setting up on Friday. But there's also like this nice feeling of just going there and not having to worry about setting up and not being like super sweaty. Plus, it was raining pretty bad, but on Friday it wasn't. It was very sunny and very nice out, which I wish kind of that the days were switched in terms of the weather, but you know, it's fine. At least my candles didn't get messed up. Anyways, yeah, I went there on Friday, drove there, set up, spoke to a few of the vendors that I knew, and then headed back home. I basically had to hurry up and start working on finishing my book sleeves. I also wanted to make my scrunchie, so I had bought new fabric from Fabric Wholesale, I think it's called. I'll link it somewhere. I'll link it down below. But I buy a lot of my fabric from there as well, and I really wanted some neutral colors, like a cream color. I do have a white, but I feel like I wouldn't personally wear white. So as soon as I get rid of that, I'm just going to like not buy them again. But I bought an off-white color and a sage green and then a black. And I felt like those were good neutrals to have. Maybe there's like another neutral I could get in there, but I essentially wanted to make sure I had neutrals. But also I had found this one satin fabric that had ribbing on it. So it had like a nice texture to it. And I thought it was so pretty and it just made it look different than plain satin. Not to shade satin, like plain satin with no kind of like, ribbing or any kind of texture, because I have plenty of it and I'm still going to sell it. But in terms of like having neutral colors with like black with some sort of like texture to it, I think it just elevates it a bit more. And to me, they just looked really luxurious for some reason. So, anyways, I love them. I did sell a few of those, so that was nice to see. But that night, I had made 12 of them. I didn't want to make too much, one because I was extremely tired, but also I wasn't sure how I was going to do. So I just wanted to make enough to just like test the water, see how people react to them, etc. So anyways, I had did that. I finished book sleeves and then I also made 12 of my scrunchies. I didn't have time to actually make more of my keychains that I sew. So I still had some left over from my last market. So I ended up just, putting up what I had, which is totally fine. So essentially, I had finished up the night at like 1 a.m., which sucked so bad because then I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I left at 8:30, which was a bit later than I had wanted to. I wanted to leave at 8 o'clock. That way I had like about an hour to kind of set myself up, get some coffee, kind of relax, settle in, etc. Anyways, it was fine. I got there 15 minutes before everything started. It was pouring raining, which really sucked, although it was also kind of really pretty outside because the space is in between a bunch of mountains. It's in the Berkshires, or the Berkshires. I think it's Berkshires. But anyways, it's very, very nice. It's very pretty. So even though like everything was like foggy and cloudy and rainy, it still was very beautiful, which is nice. But it really did impact the performance of the event itself. It was a steady flow of traffic, but not a lot of traffic, if that makes sense. So I didn't do bad in my opinion. I did make back my money and made a profit, but I wish I would have made more. But I saw some benefits in all of it. But let me backtrack because I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. So I got there 15 minutes before. So I had to bring in, my book sleeves, all the things that I sewed, and then also the new like bookshelf, this metal bookshelf that I found that I thought would be like a really nice way to set up my book sleeves. Also, since I'm leaning more into like this mid-century modern vibe, I thought that it was really pretty. I think there's still like a few things I need to add to my setup to really like give that effect, but I think I'm on the right track. So slowly but surely, we will get everything together and get it to where I envision it to be. I got there and I essentially finished putting up the shelves on the bookshelf because I like halfway put it together at home, and then I set up all the book sleeves on there, and then also I had a metal like cage type of shelving type of thing that is meant to go on the wall, like to be like screwed into the wall, but I used it just as like a table basket basically, which you probably saw it in the video. But I put the smaller book sleeves there so that way people can sift through it, and I really like that vibe. So yeah, everything looked really good. I was very proud of my setup. This was probably my most favorite setup that I've ever done, and I'm really happy about it because over the past year I've invested in new displays. So I use Etsy for a lot of my displays, and I can link the places that I get them from down below. But I really like the ones that I got. They're pretty inexpensive, I would like to say. So I will just like, I'll put them down below. I'll link them down below. You can assess it for yourself. But honestly, nothing was over $200. So yeah, the event started at 10. So I got myself settled. I set everything up, and there's slow, steady flow of traffic coming in. And I would say it was pretty steady throughout the day. There were some moments where I had like time to walk around or to finally get food or to like work on this YouTube video actually. So I had time to do some things, but also I was able to like walk around and meet some vendors. So I was able to eat some really good food because there was a Vietnamese like restaurant who set up there as well. And that was really good. And then they also have really good coffee at the cafe that they have there. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And I was able to like walk around and meet some vendors and check out other people. And one thing about this market is that everybody there has amazing branding. Like their displays are beautiful, like their branding is beautiful. It's just not to say that nobody at any other market has really good branding, but it's consistent. Like every single vendor had really good branding and it was just really nice. Honestly, what inspired me also to kind of like really go in and like invest in my displays and like my branding and all that stuff was the vendors at this market from the fall time, because I was just looking around like, wow, everyone has really nice things. And I don't know how they're fitting this equipment in their cars, but if they can do it, I can do it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start investing. And I'm glad I did, because I really like how everything turned out. And I was inspired by a lot of the vendors that I saw there that day when I was looking around, and I showed a little clip of some of them as well. So I don't know, maybe you guys could be inspired by it as well. But anyways, okay, so in terms of like what I sold the most of, so I had all of my candles, I had book sleeves, I had room sprays, I also had some pillar candles that were just meant to be like decorative. And then I also had my stationery, so my stickers and my bookmarks. I was finally able to replenish my magnetic bookmarks. So I sold mostly candles. I sold 2 book sleeves, which is actually kind of funny because the 2 book sleeves that I sold was the small and large version of the exact same pattern, which is really funny. But I mean, it just says that that pattern's really nice, so I should make sure that I restock on them. And hopefully, it wasn't the pattern that I got from Joann's, because as you know, Joann's is closing, so I won't be able to replenish that at all, which kind of sucks because there's some fabrics that I have that are from there that do really well, and I won't be able to get them again. But it's, it is what it is. Anyways, so I mostly sold candles, and what's nice is that I was able to test new candle fragrances there. So I had a new lavender and aloe fragrance, a peppermint coconut santal fragrance. I brought back my pineapple sage, and then I also made a guava and strawberry fragrance. I think, was there one more? I feel like I might have had one more fragrance, but regardless, I had those. Of those, I didn't sell any pineapple sage, but I also didn't sell a guava strawberry, but the rest I was selling. So ultimately, considering it was not busy, I feel like this was the first event where I didn't think negatively about it in the moment. During past events where it wasn't busy and I was like, oh, I'm not going to make a bunch of money, I've always felt very down and depressed about it, because I'm like, oh, I spent so much time. There were so many sleepless nights, and I set up, I was hot, I was struggling to get ready and like do all these things, and I barely like broke even, or I broke even, but I barely made a profit. And I would just like think all these negative thoughts instead of thinking about the positives of the actual event, right? So if anything, I put in more work here. So the last time I did it, I think I made like $1,200. For me not to have done that, or at least like got close to 1,000, but still feel like great and like happy, I feel like that's a good sign. I feel like I'm maturing as a small business owner who works at market events and stuff. So that was nice. So here's some positives to the whole event. One, I was able to test my new setup and really gauge how people interact with everything, because it's one to have a cute setup, it's another to have a cute setup that confuses people when they're shopping. Like if it looks too good and almost too curated, they don't want to touch anything. And I got feedback like that before, where my setup was almost like too fragile. People felt afraid to touch things, and I didn't want that. So that's why I bought new displays, so that way I can display things in a way that felt comfortable for people, and I set things up in a way that felt comfortable, so it wasn't too compact, wasn't too spread out. It just felt good to shop. So I was able to see that and saw that people were really comfortable walking around. There was enough space for them to walk around and kind of look at everything and really like gauge everything. So that was a positive. Another positive was I got to test new fragrances. I got to see that people, liked all of them. I didn't get any like negative feedback on anything. Usually I get some people who are like, I don't really like that. But everyone loved everything. Even if they wouldn't buy it personally, they said, wow, it smells really good. I don't like it for my home personally, but it is a good scent, which is a nice feeling. Another thing, I was able to test new products, right? So obviously new fragrances, technically new product, but I mean like fully like newly launched products. So like book sleeves, and then also my scrunchies with the like ribbing, and they were like the neutral tones. That was nice. I was able to sell a few of them. I didn't sell out of any of it or anything like that, but it's fine because Nobody complained about the pricing, which is good. Nobody complained about, the sizes of anything or, anything like that. They just thought, oh, this is like really good idea. I would have never thought to like make a book sleeve. Same thing with the scrunchies. Like they love the colors. Also, another positive, I got to network with a bunch of vendors. I've been using markets as a way to be social because I work my 9 to 5 remotely. And I've been working remotely for the past couple of years. Outside of like my boyfriend and my baby, and then also pottery classes, I don't get to really like interact with people too much. So this is a good social experiment for me. It's helping me build my customer service skills, but then also I used to work in retail, but I haven't been in retail in a really long time. Those social skills are kind of out the window. I'm also very introverted. I was talking, chit-chatting with a bunch of them, and we followed each other on social media and been interacting with each other's social media. So that was great. Also brand awareness. There's been people who from the fall market who've reordered with me on my website from that market, and I can tell where they're from because it literally says North Adams, and that's very specific. I only did a market there, so I know that they are from that market. That's where they heard my brand, that's where they bought my products, or maybe they heard from someone else and they liked the candle or liked whatever. So I've gotten a few reorders. So I see it as brand awareness opportunity, and also like an opportunity to get more sales later on, even after the market. So in total, I made $440. And that's with 18 orders. 2 of them were from Venmo. Well, from Venmo, yeah. So the rest was like through Spotify. I don't know why I did quotations, but most of it, I think $380 was from Spotify. Not Spotify. Oh my God, Shopify. And then the rest was in Venmo. I got a few like cash orders, but that's like looped into the Shopify total. So the cost of the event was $115. And then the cost for me to fill up my tank was $45, but I technically used half of my gas that was already there. So let's just say like $22.50 is what was spent on gas to get to and from the event, both on Friday and then also on Saturday. So my total cost was $137.50. Therefore, my profit was $302.50. So I would say that I fared pretty well. Also, my air is turning on and it is so loud. I am so sorry, but hopefully the mic isn't picking up on it too much. But anyways, I think I did pretty well. Considering everything, I made a profit. I was able to pay off the fee, pay off the filling up gas. Also, if you want to include like food, minus $20. So like $282.50 would be my profit if I wanted to subtract the food that I got and the coffee I got. So, I mean, either way, I think I did really well. There was a lot of positives to the whole event. So I see it as a win. And I like this new positive outlook I have on events and ones that don't, show up to me selling like thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I've never sold thousands of dollars worth of anything, first of all, but one day I will get there, hopefully. But anyways, I feel like I'm maturing as a vendor at markets because I definitely was not feeling like this at the end of last year. But also maybe I am now numb because the end of last year markets were something. They were something. And I think there's a few people in my previous videos in the comments that have said the exact same thing. I've seen some people talk about it too, that some of the markets aren't great. Also, they're becoming more and more expensive. I've noticed like there hasn't been much changes to how market managers market the event or, what they offer. It's the same thing, but the costs are going up. So I think that's really interesting. And it's something that we all have to take into consideration. Like, is something worth it if it's going to keep increasing, but our profits don't increase? So anyways, it's just some things to think about. And anyways, I have 2 more markets this month. So I have one May 17th at the Troy market, which will be the first Troy market I do outside this season. So that should be fun. I haven't done it in a really long time. I didn't do the winter market. It's been a while since I've been in Troy for a market. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we have good weather because it'll be outside. And then I have one on May 31st, which will be open bar. So I've done this event before. I did it last spring. And I want to say it was my first market vlog. Was it? I think it might have been my first market vlog that I ever did on my YouTube channel. But if you're curious to see how my setup was then and how I did and all that stuff, I will link the video somewhere here. But that was my best market ever. Like that's the best market I've ever performed at. I think I made like $1,800 and it was like insane. I had a line and I was like, what is this? I didn't know like how to like function. Like I had to ask my boyfriend to bring more candles because I had ran out and I had brought 5 of each. It was crazy. But anyways, I did really well. So I'm hoping that I do really well at this one again. The timing is different. I think it's a month later than what it was last year, which is interesting. So I don't know if that might change anything. I mean, weather-wise, it should be warmer. I would hope so. But yeah, fingers crossed. I do really good at that one and I make another $1,800 or at least close to it. That'd be nice. Yeah, I will link that video somewhere so you guys can watch it. If you're curious, I've come a long way with my setup. So you'll see a big difference from this vlog from that vlog. So yeah, leave some comments down below of what you think because yeah, it was definitely a big difference. So I'm excited for that one. But yeah, if you like this video, please like and comment if you have any questions that maybe I didn't answer in this video at all. I'm happy to have conversations. I love talking to the people who do comment and interact with my videos. It's really nice to know that people enjoy these videos and want me to keep making them. I want to make these and I want them to be helpful for people, but also I want to enjoy making them, and hopefully this is something that is enjoyable to you. This format is enjoyable. I tried to get as much footage as I could and try to get some shots that I really liked. I hope you like some of the shots I got because I got some cute ones. But leave some comments if you have any. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to get more subscribers and build this little community to something bigger. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.